Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can change the habits of a lifetime and take your new swing onto the golf course. I don't think there's many golfers out there who aren't tinkering a little bit with their swing, trying the next tip from YouTube or seeing if they can't just hit the ball a little bit further with a bit more hip rotation. The question is, how many of these changes actually get out on the golf course with you? Are you able to break that habit of doing the same things as you did last week? Well, today I want to kind of give you an idea about the kind of steps you should be taking to actually make any changes in your golf swing. And by doing these steps correctly, you will actually find you'll be able to call up new movement on the golf course, make your new swing, and really benefit from the changes that you've made with your golf professional. So the first one is basically to get out and find a golf professional who is able to analyze your swing. Best case scenario, he's got video and even better, maybe a launch monitor. And that way, by actually analyzing your swing, you can both come up with the changes that you want to make for whatever reason that may be. Once you've actually decided on the changes you want to make, you've got to kind of analyze the movements that you need to be able to make the changes. Because it may well be that you might have to talk to a fitness instructor as well to get a little bit more mobility in your spine or a little bit more power in your legs, or whatever it may be that your teacher is getting or trying to get you to do. But more likely than not, what he's trying or she is trying to get you to do is something that you've never done before. Despite playing golf for years, we are all sometimes surprised by our feelings and how strange a real and correct golf swing actually feels to us, which will basically mean that your body really doesn't have this ability, and you're going to have to do some exercises or drills to get this ability into flesh and blood, as they say. So the first thing to do is identify what it is you want to change. And the second thing is basically find a couple of exercises or drills which are going to help you. So if you're looking for more side bend in your swing, then you are going to need a drill which shows you how to get side bend. If you need more hip rotation, you're going to need a drill which helps you to get more hip rotation. At this point, it's probably important to understand how your brain is actually going to remember these new movements. Unfortunately, I think a lot of you tend to think of your golf swing as some kind of piece of plasticine that you give to a professional, he changes it, you take it on the golf course and it doesn't work. As if you can make small changes to your swing, as if your swing is just one program which is going to run in your brain. But I don't believe it is. In truth, I believe that we have a lot of innate abilities, some of which we use every day, the ability to bend a finger, bend a wrist, turn your shoulders or whatever. And when you are actually confronted with a task, your brain will choose a combination of these abilities to actually make the desired movement. Maybe better would be to kind of imagine in your brain a massive apothecary cabinet, a chemist cabinet. You remember those kind of walnut cabinets that they all had with the little drawers in them? And imagine that in each of these drawers is a physical ability. When your brain basically is given a job, it will look through this cabinet and say, okay, I need this one and this one, this one and this one. And if you do the same thing every time, it will start to use the same drawers in the cabinet every time. The problem is, of course, when you're making a swing change. When you're making a swing change, you're probably going to be adding a couple of new drawers. You've got to put the text on them and you've got to fill them with lots of goodies. And that takes time. According to the scientists, you're looking at around about 1,800 repetitions over around about 6 to 8 weeks. And that way you'll be building the synapses that you need. You'll be preparing your body physically to actually do the movement. But until you actually start hitting balls using these new abilities, they are simply new types of aerobic ability that your body is capable of doing, even if you've been practicing them for 6 to 8 weeks. So the next step is basically to associate these new movements with your golf swing. And that's basically what you're doing on the driving range when you're practicing technique. You should be identifying the exercises, getting your body to do the exercises, and then basically getting it to do the exercises with a golf club. When it can do them with the golf club, it should start doing them with a golf club and a golf ball. What's basically happening then is you're saying to your brain, no, I don't want these draws, I want these new ones. I'm gonna use the new ones. And you're doing that by showing your body just before you hit a shot exactly what it is you want, and then letting your body carry out the movement with the golf ball. By basically not hitting a lot of balls one after another, you are actually stopping yourself from calling up the old movement. If you hit a half a dozen balls, you can guarantee the last 2 or 3 were your old swing. So the next step in the way to the golf course is basically to kind of associate this new aerobic ability with the job of hitting a golf ball. And you're hoping basically that your brain is going to say, okay, now I understand why he's doing these things every day in the morning. He needs that to actually play golf and hit enough balls over enough time, and you will actually start associating these new movements with the job of hitting a golf ball. The last problem is basically taking that onto the golf course. Unfortunately, when you get back on the first tee with your old mates and your old clubs looking down that old fairway, you're going to make your old swing. Quite simply because habit is probably one of the most difficult things to break. If I were to send you to a meeting of your old school buddies 30 years after you left the school, for the first couple of minutes you're going to have a feeling of déjà vu, the feeling of old habits coming up, an old hierarchy coming back into place. And only when you basically see that the cool guy doesn't look so cool anymore will your brain be reminding you, look, you're 30 years older and you don't do that anymore. And more or less, this is what we need on the golf course. We need things to remind us of the new movement. So that would mean changing basically your pre-shot routine. When you get on a golf course, you've got to be doing enough things to contradict your normal habitual swing, and enough things to remind you of what you're doing. Now that could be a complete change in your pre-shot routine, getting new pictures, new thought processes, maybe actually kind of stripping down the old pre-shot routine, taking more care about simple things. It might mean a change in your practice swing to incorporate the new movements that you're making. Most certainly what it needs is a basically committed shot once you get to the end of this routine. And in many cases, I think if you can just commit to the movement, commit to the shot, that will be enough for your brain to say, well, never committed before, let's give this new movement a chance. Altogether then, it's about, first of all, analysing your swing and making the right changes, making sure that you are physically capable of making these changes, and then doing enough work on them to actually produce the aerobic ability that you will then use in combination with other abilities to actually make your golf swing. Once you've actually got that going, you've got to associate this aerobic ability with the job of hitting golf balls, which means changing from basically practice swings and exercises to hitting balls and doing those one after another. Once you've got that. To take it on the golf course, we need a change in your pre-shot routine to remind your brain which of these new drawers in the cabinet that it's going to open to actually use in combination to make your new golf swing. And when you're out there on the golf course, you need to use this pre-shot routine, changing the thought processes that you would normally use in order to distract your brain from the old movements. If you get out there and you aren't hitting the golf ball, it's because your brain is calling up the old swing and your conscious mind is contradicting it. You have got to get yourself to a point where your brain accepts your new swing. You walk up to the golf ball, look at the target and trust your body to make the new movement. It's as simple as that. We're coming up to a time of year when I would recommend that everybody goes and sees a PGA professional. See what you could do to make your swing even better the next season. Hope this has helped you. If it has, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much to all the patrons who are supporting the channel. If you would like to support the channel, I shall leave a link below. Until the next time, all the very best. Bye-bye.